So it is a cold, windy, and wet day here, and we are going to make some warm soup. So we're going to make our red lentil pumpkin soup. It's a really nice, creamy, a little bit sweet soup. So my kitchen helper, Ari, he's always my willing helper. He always wants to do this with me, is going to tell us what some of the ingredients are here. What do we need, buddy?
Celery, chopped onions, pumpkin, canned pumpkin.
Yep, which is just 100% pure pumpkin. There's nothing else in it.
Ground cloves.
Yep, ground cloves.
Garlic. Cinnamon, cumin, nutmeg, black pepper, and red lentils.
Red lentils. And then we also need our instant pot. You can do this on the stovetop, but why would you do that? We keep it simple here. And then your immersion blender or any blender would work just fine. I have often in a pinch used dried ingredients for the onions and even the celery. I always keep some dried celery on hand. And garlic, it would be great to use that fresh. I have the nutmeg and cloves out because I actually need allspice for this. But the Walmart order I placed forgot to include it. So we're going to just kind of figure it out using a little bit of cloves and nutmeg. So let's get started. So we're going to start here. Ari, can you just pour these red lentils into the Instant Pot insert, please? And then we're also going to add to that 3.5 cups of water. Do you want to go get some water while I start chopping?
3.5 cups?
Yeah, 3.5 cups as best you can.
Thanks.
Yep. And then I'm going to chop up 3 stalks of celery. It doesn't need to be beautiful, because just enough that it cooks really evenly, because we're actually going to puree this entire recipe. So that's what makes it really nice and creamy. It's one reason I do like, actually, in this case, using the fresh and frozen veggies, because it adds even more creaminess to the soup compared to when you just use dried ingredients. But either way is fine. It turns out just fine. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we have red lentils. We have some celery chopped. I'm just going to pour in this frozen onion. You could totally use fresh, and like I said, you could also use dry. Yes, Ari's going to open our can of pumpkin. I'm going to throw in some garlic. I don't measure this. It's probably going to be about like half a teaspoon or something. And then I'm going to slightly measure our spices, because the blend kind of matters. So the cinnamon, I'm going to double check, but I think I need half a teaspoon. Yes, so half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then the allspice altogether was only supposed to be 1/4 of a teaspoon. So I'm just going to do even less than that, 1/8 of a teaspoon at most of ground cloves and then ground nutmeg each. And I'm just going to actually just throw a pinch of this in here. Just not very much at all. Yeah, I'm going to need to use a spoon, Ari, to get that out. Just 1 second, okay? All right. And then just a pinch of nutmeg as well. Uh-oh. There we go. Let's see if it comes out. Oh, I think I need to unscrew it. Okay. Just a pinch, please, not too much. There we go. Okay. And then cumin, we're going to do 3/4 of a teaspoon. Just double checking that, but yes. So if you've watched this channel before, you know I hardly ever measure spices, and I'm being still pretty approximate here. But with something like this, where there's sort of complex flavors and they all need to balance, I do tend to measure spices at least roughly. All right, Ari is going to work on this can here. I'm going to take off this sharp lid for you, okay? And then do you want to see what you can do with that to get it out? Yeah. I would just hold it like that and then kind of see if you could scoop it out of there. This is just plain old pumpkin. And this is actually it then. And then we're just going to put it on an Instapot. So Ari's going to finish scooping this out. We're going to give it a quick stir, and then I'll show you how we cook. I forgot. I'm going to put 1 little pinch of black pepper, not measuring it, just the tiniest little amount, sort of like the nutmeg. There we go. So this is my 6-quart Instant Pot, and my 8-year-old can handle this, right? So we just put the lid on. And which way should we turn it, Ari? Look over there. Yep, until it doesn't turn anymore. And then this little turning vent thing needs to go all the way, turn to the right to sealing. It won't click, but we don't want it this way. We want it all the way to the right, and that'll help it come, or allow it, not even help it, allow it to come to pressure. Okay. And then we're going to cook it for 30 minutes because that's usually what I do with lentils, any lentil recipe.
Oh, whoops.
So you're going to hit pressure cook. You're going to do it with your pinky. That's our weak finger, right? And then hit the plus until it's at 30, right? And we always use that function unless we're making yogurt. I just pressure cook everything. I don't use any of these fancy functions. In fact, I wish Instant Pot made one that didn't have all those because I don't need them. And then we're just going to let it come to pressure. I can set this and forget it now. So I'm going to go about my day. I have lots of other things to do. And when this is naturally pressure released and I have time, I'll come back and show you how I puree it and what the final product looks like. Okay, so this is now pressure released. And you can see because the silver thing is down. It's been about 36 minutes since it finished cooking. I could leave it longer if I needed to, but I actually have time to do this right now. So I just follow the signs here, turn it to the right to open, lift it off, and I just usually let it dry like that. All right, so here it is. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just lift out the insert, and I'm going to use my immersion or stick blender to puree this. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done doing that. All right, so you can see it's just really nice, smooth, creamy soup. Really turns out so beautifully. It smells delicious. So I'm just going to go like that. My husband's going to be home soon, and he'll love to have some fresh soup before we need to go out in this very dreary weather tonight. I'm going to fill up that bowl. It's just beautiful. And all the rest I'm going to put into these Pyrex containers. I'll let them cool, and then we use them for leftovers. We all eat when we're hungry, so we can just grab one and reheat in the microwave. So I hope you found this recipe helpful. Please consider liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below if you have other ways you like to use pumpkin puree or red lentils.